I tell you what, yesterday was probably one of the best Mondays that I've had in a while. We hit 2K followers on Instagram, celebration, let's go. And also, we sold out our second event. Well, it's the first event that we've sold out, but it's the second event that we're putting on for Sound Bath in the city. We sold it out yesterday. 5 days before it's on. So it's just like, oh my God, we've actually got 30 people coming to our event, which is really exciting and just kind of a sign. It's not kind of a sign, it is a sign that what we're doing is the right thing, not just for the people that are coming, but for us as well. It's like the universe is talking back to us and saying, like, this is, you're operating in your area of expertise, you're operating in the place where you should be. Because don't get me wrong, the work that we're doing isn't easy by any means, but it doesn't feel hard. It feels like play. It feels like it's natural to us because we're doing stuff that we enjoy doing, we're doing stuff that interests us, and we're doing stuff that actually we're naturally good at as well. So it's all coming full circle where we're just like in this zone where work is starting to feel like play most of the time. And as I guess the feedback is that we're getting to see some success, some momentum, and it's building. The first event that we put on, we had 24 people in there. This one, full house, 30. So obviously we'll see the next one. If we get a full house again, then amazing. And also we're putting on a sip and paint at the end of the, I was gonna say the end of the year, but it's the end of the month. And we've sold 4 tickets for that already, which is great. I'm really looking forward to that. Come on, Nisa. Because with the sip and paint, it's a sober sip and paint. We're going to be hosting it. I'm going to be DJing. We're going to make mocktails and stuff. So that's going to be really exciting for a lot of reasons. And I was just reflecting on it this morning, and I was just thinking, like, we've seen stuff like that, but there's always been like an element of alcohol. And you know, as an ex-drinker, it's a bit disappointing to see that these things are on, but there isn't like a version. Nisa, where are you going? Come on. Where you can do it sober. So here we are, creating that sober version and kind of going through the resistance of like starting the events again. Because with the first Sound Bath in the city we put on, there was like, oh shit, are people gonna come? Like, you know, you have a bit of apprehension, a little bit of self-doubt, a little bit of like, is this gonna work? And then obviously as like we started selling tickets, we realized, oh, people are actually coming, like, good. Nisa, excuse me. Hey, wait. Good girl. Good girl. She runs away, but then you tell her to wait and she waits. It's like, why? Just don't run away. How about that? You don't like this field, do you? So yeah, so now it's kind of happening again with Sip and Paint. We sold 2 tickets last week, which was actually earlier than our Sound Bath in the city. It took us quite a while to sell our first tickets for that event. But this one happened sooner. But of course there was still a bit of like, oh shit, like, is this going to be okay? And we sold another 2 tickets last night, and I just said to Pels, because I think even more so she's feeling it than I am. I was like, are you feeling a bit better about it now? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, you know, we're like, you know, we've sold more tickets for this event sooner than we did the first one we did. So all the signs are there, you know? And to be honest, I know it's going to do really well for a lot of reasons, because I think a lot of us want to do, you know, we want to do activities that don't revolve around alcohol, but we still want to meet people, we still want to socialize, and we still want to have fun. And I have no problem with people drinking whatsoever. It's just drunk people. I think there's a very big difference between drinking and being drunk. Once people get to the stage of being drunk, it just becomes a bit long, unless you're drinking yourself. But as a sober person, it is just like, man, it's long. It's like you're around children. It's just, whatever, like, go do that stuff if you want, but yeah, you don't necessarily want to be around it. So it's exciting because I guess we know with this event, people that are coming are at least curious of that idea, or at least open to it. They might not necessarily be sober, but they obviously are open to sober experiences. Something that I used to do in my teens, in my 20s, is like I say event, but everything that I went to revolved around alcohol. Like, if there wasn't alcohol involved, I wasn't interested. Which I guess is like the standard kind of thought process in the West, especially in England. But you realize when you get older, like, it isn't fun being drunk all the time. Hangovers get a lot worse. And also, what we think is connection is something else, because, when you're drunk, you aren't being your authentic self. You're being this version of you that isn't you. And a lot of the times, it's at a detriment to you. You're not showing up in your best light. You're not behaving in the best way. You're not saying or thinking things that are fully who you are or what you think and feel. So just kind of, it's been a while since I drank last, like 5 years now, but like, I guess this has been a whole process of unlearning that you can do things without alcohol, and actually it's a lot more fun to do things without alcohol, because I think what I used to do before is I used to rely on alcohol to have a good time almost. It's like it wasn't any fun unless I was drunk out of my mind, which doesn't make any fucking sense, but that's just the mentality, right? And I guess I couldn't dance if I wasn't drunk. I couldn't talk to people if I wasn't drunk. I couldn't even go to the thing if I wasn't drunk or drinking. And yeah, that was all just a mask. I was relying on like alcohol for like Dutch courage, as the saying goes, but like, it's not necessary. You have that within you anyway. If you drink and it gives you courage, it's not giving you courage, it's just activating it. The courage is already within you. So, it's almost like a market employer to get us to drink and almost rely on it in social situations. It's like social situations plus alcohol equals me there. But you can just drop the alcohol and still have the social situations, and it's so much more fun because you remember the night. You don't wake up feeling like shit the next day. You don't make a prat of yourself. You save a lot of money as well, and you don't damage your health. Please tell me anything that I'm missing out. There isn't that I can think of. So yeah, it's been a really great start to the week in terms of, I guess, our business and our events and things like that. Coming into the closing of our dopamine detox, I just had a look at my phone earlier today, and my weekly average at the minute for being on my phone is 16 minutes. So that's like down from 35. I'm like, oh, interesting. Let me see if I can keep it at that for this week, which will be like, well, basically not on my phone at all, pretty much. So that's exciting too, I guess, because I think the more that I'm being offline, the more I'm growing this desire to show up in person, and the more like I want to connect with people and meet people and go out and play and experience stuff, which I don't think wasn't there before. But I guess now that like this cheap dopamine is not activating the same receptors because I'm not using it, my brain is looking for other ways to get that dopamine, and the other ways to get this dopamine more substantial, the more rewarding, they're more fulfilling. And it's like I've almost got my motivation back in these areas that I didn't even realize that I didn't have. And all the other things that I used to love, like, I'm just not interested in it anymore. It's kind of like when I quit, now that I think about it, it's kind of like when I quit alcohol. Like, got to a point I was just like, fuck alcohol, man. It's actually causing me nothing but problems. What does it add to my life? Nothing. So I dropped it. but then I've never missed it. Do you know what I mean? I'm never like, oh, what am I going to do without alcohol if I go to this thing? Or, oh, should I? And it's the same with the other things that I've dropped out now. It's like, I just don't miss them. I don't feel like I need them. I feel like I'm finding more joy in doing the things that I'm doing now. I'm just working on leaning more into that and experiencing the joys of that, which is a lot of fun. So, yeah, I think we just need to start being more human, I guess. And the only way to be more human is to behave more human. The only way to behave more human is to stop doing things that are artificial. And that means like artificially stimulating ourselves, artificially distracting ourselves, artificially behaving, showing up in the world as this version of ourselves that isn't truly us, putting on a mask. Every time you say something that you don't mean, or you don't say something that you wanted to say, you shrink a little bit inside. Every time that you show up in the world and you put on this mask to play the game, you shrink a little bit inside. And what happens is, eventually, all these people, we're just playing this character that isn't us, but because we play it for so long, eventually we believe that it is us without realizing that it was all just a facade. It becomes our identity, because habits that you do after time, or actions that you take over time, form habits, and those habits become your identity, right? So we almost get lost in the source of keeping up with the Joneses, running around in the rat race, trying to get ahead, and all these things just chip away at our souls. Because deep down, we know what we want to be doing. Deep down, we know what our purpose is. Deep down, we know that our life isn't aligned to what it is that we truly desire. But somewhere along the line, the fire goes out and we almost just accept that those things are never going to happen for us. So we should just stop trying and take what we can get. And it's hard because we've been conditioned and programmed to follow a certain system, or a certain set of systems, beliefs, since childbirth, all through school, all into our career. That is all just setting us up to work a life of servitude for someone else. And I'm not bashing people that have careers or work, we have to earn money at the end of the day. But what I am saying is that we don't ever stop to question if the thing that we're doing is actually what we want to be doing or not. And if it isn't, then what are we doing to work towards the thing that we truly want or truly desire? Because I have friends that have, since school, have jobs, and they don't necessarily like their jobs, but they're just doing it. It's like, well, what do you actually want to do with your life? I don't know. I used to be like that. I didn't know for a very long time, especially in my 20s. I didn't have a fucking clue what I wanted to do. But I always asked. I never settled. I always asked the question, what do I want to do? I always tried to figure it out. I always experimented. And that's the thing. Even if you don't know what you want, just experiment. Just try new things. Even if it's not tied towards a monetary gain, profit, making money, whatever. It could just be a hobby or an interest of you. Try it. Maybe you've always wanted to do something. Try it. You never know where it might take you. You have to become childlike again. How you were when you were a kid, where everything was a question mark and you didn't understand anything and you wanted to understand everything. So you asked questions and you explored and you experienced. Becoming an adult isn't what we think it is. It isn't maturing and, getting a good stable job and buying a house and starting a family. Being an adult is doing those things whilst ensuring that your inner child's fire stays intact, making sure that you feed that version of you every single day, making sure that you fill your life with joy and presence and love and laughter and play. Because if you don't do those things, you become miserable. If you don't do those things, you become depressed. If you don't do those things, you become empty. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can find the joy in life again. You have to, when searching for joy, we look outwards for things, experiences, people to make us feel joy, not realizing that joy is something that you cultivate and then you experience it. You don't go out to get it, you go in to feel it. And once you go in to feel it, that joy can never be taken away from you. Right? Because isn't that what life is about? It's about enjoying it, right? If you're not enjoying life, then what are you doing? In my opinion, you're dying slowly. You're dying a slow death, masquerading as a life, but really there's no living involved whatsoever. Nisa Ramian.